Hey there, guys. Welcome to On the Spot again. I'm here with Bryan Lee. We met during the basketball of the pandemic, played basketball and hoops like that, open gyms. And he's from the Antioch area, played college and I think some pro. But the floor is yours, Bryan. Go into yourself and we'll go from there.
Sure. Nice to meet you all. Brian from Antioch. I went to Grand Canyon University. Played some pro ball, but hung it up pretty quick, and now it's mostly men's leagues. My background's in recruiting. I hire engineers for startups in the U.S. Now I run a small search firm. We apply AI to hiring technical talent.
Nice. So you ready for On the Spot? Ready to get going with the questions?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right.
Born ready.
Well, so what do you think about real estate? We hear the real estate. What do you think of and what are your thoughts and stuff like that? Predictions, anything, what's your mind like with that?
Sure. I think especially being in California, we're in front of an awesome opportunity, right? Like even we can see coming from Antioch, houses that were 140K and 94 are now, 600K to $1 million in value. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the space. I do think like there's becoming more opportunity for people that can make smaller bets to step in. And, I know at the value in California, how do you now buy $1 million home? My cousin actually went in with a few of his friends to buy a triplex, and they're able to split that down payment. So I love opportunities for investment. I don't personally own. I rent in LA, but I have gone through the process and looked at buying. Ultimately, I decided that I wanted to keep the cash on hand to run my business, but I think real estate's an awesome investment vehicle.
Yeah, I think so too. I think as far as your money goes longer with it. So in time, it's good to invest when you can, but it's all about timing and when you want to do it. But good points you make with that.
For sure. For me, it's a bit more of like having the space to now manage a property I don't live in. So I just haven't made that leap, but I'm a bit deeper into like Bitcoin and stocks, and I've invested in a few startups as well.
Okay, cool. You want to share a struggle you went through in life,
Oh
business,
man,
or
struggles. I was cut from the basketball team. I think I have one of the cooler stories is I've never started a game in high school, and I was All American in college. So I think that's what's drives so much of this. I have a chip on my shoulder because I feel like I should have been on a LeBron path, and more realistically, just having to go the D2 route, right? Like even a lot of the guys we play against in our open gyms had better high school careers than I did.
yeah,
I think I had a better college career.
yeah,
But I know my parents are from Bayview, San Francisco. I was actually just talking to my mom about like, some of the missed opportunities we had in financial education. So, grew up grinding. I'm from Antioch. There's not a ton that's been handed to me. But I think that what it's done is it's breeded a fighter. I think you need struggle to kind of learn some of these lessons. So, I still hold on to that. Yeah.
cool. How about you want to share a quote with us?
Quote. Um, what is a quote that I can share? I don't think I prepped for this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Gospel quote or coach quote, something that you heard or from a book or from a mindset.
I don't have a quote at the moment. Let's come
Okay,
back to that.
we'll go back to that. All right. What do you watch nowadays on TV? What shows you watch and what do you like out there?
Sure. I have a 1-year-old, so we're watching a lot of Miss Rachel. Um, I watch a lot of one-on-one basketball. I watch a lot of basketball, period. So for the
Yeah.
most part, if the TV's on, I'm watching sports. We just watched Paradise, which we thought was a pretty awesome show.
Okay.
Um, And then, I was actually just watching Sequoia Capital did a event on AI. So just kind of keeping us update on like the state of AI. So I'm mostly watching like whether it's content on tech, um, YouTube's on how to build a business
Yeah.
or basketball.
All right. Cool. Um, who's on your Mount Rushmore basketball top players? Who do you got on there?
So yeah, I got LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron's my goat. Tracy McGrady. I think just being 6'8" and wanting to, I love this heavy pull up. I love Kevin Garnett. I love
Yeah.
Reggie Miller. Michael Jordan and Kobe are up there, but not guys I really tailored a lot of my game to. If I had to
Yeah.
like look at my game, it's probably a mixture of like Amari Stoudemire, Tim Hardaway, and like Boris D. Not Tim Hardaway, Tim Duncan, and Boris Diaw.
Okay. Oh, Boris Day, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
pace he plays with.
Yeah. Okay. So who is the GOAT then?
Who's my GOAT? All right, who's the best basketball player ever?
Yeah.
If I had to choose, I'd always pick LeBron. I think he
Yeah.
shoots it, he dribbles it, he has the frame. He's 6'8", he's unselfish and makes the right decisions.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to choose somebody that I think makes the right decision over somebody that's just going to get up the shot regardless. And I kind of feel that way about Kobe and Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So, I mean, where'd you play your basketball at? And then who's the best player you played against, faced whether in college or high school?
Sure.
Who comes to
I
mind?
played at Grand Canyon University. We played at a D2. I want to say the best player we played against was Ronnie Price. He ended up playing for the Lakers for a few years.
Okay.
In high school, I went through the AAU circuit, so I played against Greg Oden, Dwight Howard, um, Marvin Williams, and even more recently, because my brother got to play at Kentucky, I got to go through some of the practices. So guarding
Yeah.
like Carl Towns and Julius Randle.
Yeah.
I think more recently, those are the monsters I've got a chance to bang against.
Yeah. So which AU program did you play for?
I played for NorCal Elite. Let's see,
Okay.
who else we had? We had Keena Payton, who was Brandon Payton's brother,
Okay.
Antonio Kellogg, um, DeMarcus Nelson. I want to say we were one of the better Nike teams in the country at the time.
Nice. Cool.
Not Chris Oakes. Chris Oakes was on the younger team. Devon Harding, who ended up at Cal. Was Lorenzo Wade, who ended up at San Diego State, I think, or UNLV. Yeah, we had a pretty filthy team. But even with that, right, with DeMarcus Nelson being a monster, I still think Antonio Kellogg's probably one of the best players I've ever had on my team.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, he can guard full court. He'll get a steal and then windmill.
Crazy. Have you been watching the playoffs? I think so far, I mean, you got the conference finals we got. Who's your favorite? What do you think's going to happen? And a prediction for who wins it all.
I think I'm going to roll with Oklahoma City right now, especially with them having the home court advantage. I think Tyrese Halliburton's having a hell of a series, or he had a hell of a series. I'm just not sure they have the experience yet. And I guess you can't really say that Oklahoma City's been there, but I think Shea moves with like a level of confidence and the fouls he's getting right now. But I think it's different than like a James Harden who we can call a foul merchant. I think Shea gets to his spots extremely well. And he's getting fouled in his natural motion as opposed to like James Harden will stick that arm out to create. So and then they're also like 6'8" to 6'10" across the guard spot.
Yeah.
And then you got Alex Caruso you can throw on anybody. So I'm gonna go with Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How about you? Who are you rolling with?
I like OKC. I like Chet Holmgren. Reminds me of myself in high school how he was so skinny and like that. I was like, that was like me, except not 7 foot. But I think SGA is another guy's going to put himself on the map again. I mean, he's doing those crazy shots and how he plays and efficiency, how he's scoring and stuff is good. And then, I'm pretty sure they're probably the underdog. The Knicks, have been there a while, but, Bronson's good. They got Towns there. So they look good. It's going to be good, though. I think it's a new starters coming aboard, how the game is being played, but it should be good.
Yeah, part of me wants the Knicks to win, just thinking like how long they've been in a major city without a championship.
Yeah.
So I think I think it'll bring a lot of great. I think they're already bringing a lot of great energy to New York basketball. I think it will bring that to another level of the new generation of New York kids that want to play.
Oh, I'll ask you this: what's something you did in the pandemic that you didn't do before that you used to today?
Yeah, I got a Peloton. Honestly, right. I am a 6'8" black male, and heart disease is one of the number one killers of my population.
Yeah.
So for me, it's huge in keeping that weight down. Right, like I do like my alcohol, so in the pandemic, it was easy to buy bottles of wine. But I also know that so much of my longevity, if I want to keep playing basketball and get to Tion's level of playing well at 45, 48, I've got to keep this weight down. So the Peloton's been everything that, even if I just have 30 minutes to knock out some cardio. Just consistently riding that Peloton. I also took up a good amount of biking in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I rode with the group and we did Century. So, just getting that 100 miles under your belt, constant like 60-mile rides. So just a
Wow.
level of cardio I had never gotten into. I've tried to pick up running and I can run, 6, 7 miles, but that now takes, 45 minutes. Whereas like on a Peloton, I can knock out a good cardio session in 30 minutes. So love the Peloton.
Cool. Now you're saying, I mean, if you do the Peloton, you say you eat, so you get big quick, or just you just see yourself gain weight as you're not doing the running and all the biking and stuff you were saying with
Yeah,
your.
actually, I think it's more drinking at home in the
Okay.
Peloton. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
easy to open up a bottle of wine after work and just
Yeah.
slowly
Yeah.
sip that bottle. So how do I now turn that into, you've got to burn that energy off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Peloton just gave me consistent cardio to keep that down. And then also, right, is like, once you start like pushing yourself now, you're like, all right, well, do I want to have a drink when I know that I need to like put that work in? Or,
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to earn that drink with a 45-minute workout. So
Okay. Cool.
yeah, trying to keep the weight down because
Yeah.
I don't know if I've already had 2 knee surgeries. I don't know if I could continue to play at the level I'm at if I was 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah. No, totally. I can see that. I see guys that come in heavier and they're playing at the same player. And I think basketball, you gotta be somewhat fit. You can't be, you don't see it out there.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the leagues. Like,
Yeah.
you can play lower level leagues and still coast by, especially at our size, where you're like
Yeah.
with 6'6",
Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
But if I want to be able to compete, which I think are in some of the top leagues, like I think I'm in close enough to shape to play in the Drew League if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Is my skill set there? I don't know, but I want to hold on. My daughter's 1, so how long? I got to be able to play another 10 years so she can see that I can still put the ball in the hole.
Cool. Let me ask you this. What's your dream car?
Right now, I'm looking at a Porsche Cayenne, Porsche.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like my end goal car. It's maybe an upgrade from my Forerunner. Dream car is probably a Porsche 911. You
Yeah.
know, I
Okay.
just now with the daughter, it's like would I actually drive that fast? But I'm definitely more of a sports car guy.
Yeah.
If I had to choose an SUV, I might meet in the middle, and if I had, $7 million, I might get a Lamborghini Urus.
Okay.
How about
Cool.
you?
I like the Hummer. I always liked the Hummer as a kid. Just seeing them, the one that, and then driving the EV one was cool. Then drive the Edge, it's just, I don't know, it's a niche, but it definitely stands out. I mean, you see them on the road, you can't miss them. It's like you
Yeah,
see a
my
Hummer,
buddy
like,
has one. Have you seen
yeah,
the crawl feature where it can like horizontally like pull into a
yeah.
park?
I messed around with that. It was when I did they let me loan one for a day. It was dope.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Hummers too.
yeah,
I had thought about buying an H3, I think, maybe
yeah.
like in
Me
my
too.
20s,
Yeah,
and then ended up
yeah.
choosing
I
a
didn't get
sports.
it. I didn't get an Armada instead, but yeah, got an H3. Cool, the mini one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on EV car? I mean, have you experienced it? What do you think about the EV car and stuff we're having now?
Yeah, I think if you can save gas, great. I drive a Forerunner. Like if there was an electric Forerunner that wasn't $70,000, I could be open to it.
Yeah.
I work from home, and in the last 3 years, I think I've put 6,000 miles on my car, so I just
Nice.
don't drive enough to consider a new vehicle.
Yeah.
Um, but like if my partner were to get a new car, I'd probably push her to get an EV. I'm not a huge fan of Tesla, just in the sense of like I think Elon Musk is like a little off his rocker, but I'm all
Yeah.
for technology and opportunities
Yeah.
to, it's hard to say how much it positively impacts the earth, just because like, I don't know if I've done enough research on like, battery disposal versus like gas, but
Yeah.
seems like a good alternative.
Cool. Good thoughts on that. Um, what age would you go back to in time if you could go back in time and live at? What age would you pick?
11.
Yeah.
I think I'd do seventh grade over, and just kind of
Okay.
accelerate my path and like zone in a bit more into basketball, right? I had no idea I was going to be 6'8".
Yeah.
And I think I put a lot of effort into basketball. I don't think I put in the grind that kids like with trainers and just like being as efficient with my workouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was outside playing basketball from morning to night. I love basketball. I'm always dribbling, but I wasn't working out with intention.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think I would have taken more opportunity with that. I also would have gone to De La Salle. I had an opportunity to, and just didn't want
Yeah.
to deal with the commute as an eighth grader from Antioch to Concord.
Yeah.
Um, but looking back at that, that probably would have put me on a bit better path in terms of
Yeah.
like having Coach Alaco to just set that structure right. Like De La Salle is doing 5 a.m. practices for ninth graders, whereas at
Or
Deer
6
Valley,
a.m. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we, we,
Yeah.
we didn't have gym time. Like once school ended for us, we would float around campus for 3 hours. They wouldn't let us in the gym, right? And then
Yeah.
now you jump into practice. So there's just a little bit less opportunity coming from that type of system. So
Yeah. Gotcha. So I guess you're in the millennial generation, right?
you
Are you
said say that again?
are, are you are you in the generation millennial, right?
I think so. I'm
Yeah.
39. I think we're in
Yeah.
the same age.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the chat GPT, AI, and the technology, and then with kids today that have it at their fingertips, earlier than we did? What do you think about all that stuff going on?
I think it's great, right? Is
Yeah.
like, yes, it's helpful to know how to use an abacus, but why, if you can use a calculator, why would you not, right? I think
Mhm.
like what, you know, my company, we actually look at it as like building a Iron Man suit. Like, we built a recruiting tool that we think makes us about 4 times more efficient than like our counterparts that aren't using AI right now.
Yeah.
Whether you're using AI for note takers, research, making decisions, like why would you not use technology? So I'd actually say that like, out of a, 10, I'm probably a 15 in kind of being pro AI. I think it has to be moderated though, and there is going to have to be like levels of security. My partner is a teacher, and she's actually seeing it in the classroom, and like my thoughts are that like if homework is easily solved through AI, I think we need to rethink what homework is.
Yeah.
Right now, give opportunity for children to be creative and even leverage AI, but if it's a task that they can throw in AI and have solved, like maybe it's not something that needs to be focused on in the classroom. So I'm fully on board.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could use AI or the chat GPT when I was in school, or, because it helped you out with things, and then, but we didn't have that like there. We had Google, but it wasn't how it is today. You could find things out like,
Have you used what do you use to edit your videos for this?
well, they have a thing in here, kind of like Riverside, like a AI type of thing, and they can get rid of like the fluff and get rid of the ums and all that type of stuff, and then they give you notes and stuff. So it's pretty much there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
built in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was also using a tool called Descript. It basically turns your conversation into a script, so I can like now cut out pieces of the writing, and it just cuts out the video. So
Oh,
similar thought process, right? Is
okay.
like there's a
Yeah.
lot of tools that are gonna make us more efficient. Like if you had to sit through and go through the video and delete every like that's 45 minutes, but now you can pick one button and it's done.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Totally. It's totally good. Let me ask you this. What movie have you recently saw that you liked or watched?
Sure. I just went and watched
Yeah.
Sinners with my mom. What was that, Mother's Day weekend?
Okay.
Um, I thought, have you seen it yet?
I did. I saw it on 4DX. Have you seen it 4DX?
I don't know if my brain can manage 4D. It's like what you get water thrown at you. You get
You're kind of like an Indiana Jones ride or Disneyland. The simulation where the
yeah,
seat moves, and then like in the train comes into town, you see the smoke in the bottom, and then the
yep.
car kind of
That's
shakes your
awesome.
seat, and then when there's a stabbing, like you get splashed on water, and then a bullet. It's like an air. So it was dope. It was pretty good. So I
Yeah, I
was like,
saw it in
yeah,
IMAX, and I felt like it was a great experience. But I'd
yeah.
imagine that that's even better.
Yeah, IMAX 40. Yeah, it's you gotta check it out. It's good. Like I'll probably go see the new Jurassic Park like that, the new one. But yeah, check out. I think Captain America's like that, but it's pretty. The simulation's pretty good. So
Yeah, I would do it. I
definitely.
went to
Yeah,
Universal Studios a few years back, and they had a Kung Fu Panda ride similar. Is that like
yeah,
when there's water, it splashes you. You could
yeah,
smell. Like I thought it was an
yeah,
awesome experience.
yeah. It's definitely. I think they tried it back in the day. My mom told me, but didn't really work because the theater would get too stinky and people would leave.
You got
So
somebody like under just throwing a bucket of water on them.
yeah, or just whatever. Like they smell like oranges and it didn't really smell like it. And they're like, I don't know, like what's that thing called soaring in California?
I don't know.
Or that you ride that ride and it goes to all these different like atmospheres. So like you ride with the animal or the elephants and it smells like the elephants.
Oh,
And then you go to like the water and you smell like the Pacific Ocean. So it's kind of cool, but it's they make it all it's
I think
cool.
that's awesome. I think the more
Yeah.
like, it's cool that and now we can have some of these experiences like, with VR headsets, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's awesome to,
Yeah.
like if I could, you know, there are places I haven't had a chance to travel and now you're able to bring that to people. I think that's sick.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Are you an Apple or Android guy?
I'm an Apple guy. I used to
Yeah.
work at Apple. Well, I worked at Google and Apple, but
Okay.
I
Yeah.
worked at Apple for a few years. Everything's Apple. Maybe that changes in a bit, but as of today,
Yeah.
it's all Apple.
So when you see a green bubble pop out on your phone, what do you think?
I
No.
honestly don't even think about it. I think there was a time, maybe like in my 20s, where I would have a thought like I'd prefer every. I think my only issue is when like somebody that has an Android responds in a group chat and it used to throw them into a whole different separate chat, so it would make it clunky.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't put too much thought into it.
Yeah.
As long as a message goes through. There was a time when I remember my buddy has an Android and he would like send me messages and I'm like, this is like, or he would send me videos and the quality would be pretty shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the issue. My partner's dad has an Android and um, it seems like his pictures are better than mine.
You want to share a business tip or life tip to
Sure.
with our listeners? Yeah.
My thing is jump. I think one of the things I appreciated about my brother being at Kentucky was like Calipari is very much under the mindset of like he's pushing these kids to fail fast,
Yeah.
right? Throw yourself in the situation, um, you know, build and get out there more than just like resonate and think about it, right? And even
Yeah.
with the product we've built, like we've quickly gone from, like there's two sides. You can perfect something and spend months building a product. We're on the other side is like let's get the most bare bone usable product out to our customers and learn what they want.
Yeah.
So I take that as like instead of like even as I've launched my business, a lot of my friends will be like, "Well, I've got to get a website up. I've got to, make sure I am communicating with clients the right way." And it's like, well, you've got to find a client first. Be thoughtful of not putting too much upfront work together when it creates like roadblocks in front of you. So
Yeah.
I'm very much a just get out there, try, see how it goes, and then iterate. So
Okay. Good thoughts on that. Good tip and share. Who would you want to sit down and eat with, dead or alive? You could pick somebody. Who would it be?
sure, I'm a Jay-Z stan. I would love to kind of just like pick Jay-Z's mind. I think a lot of the persona that or ego that I've built
Yeah.
is based on me listening to Jay-Z as a kid.
Yeah.
So I think understanding some of his decisions, understanding like what he's focusing on now, how he looks at like long-term growth,
Yeah.
and even just like what he's putting his energy into today. So I would
Yeah.
love to Jay-Z.
Yeah. He's kind of stepped away from the music. I mean, he hasn't released an album in a while, but he still has his stuff. But yeah, he's kind of on the back burner, I guess, doing whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think like he's like we'll painted the picture of what like a hustler business person could be. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you focusing your energy on now? Like, are you
Uh,
investing in spaces, or are you just turning all that energy into family time, right? So
yeah.
I think it'd just be cool to understand the journey up until now versus like, yeah, we only got to see Jay Z the rapper. I'd love to understand Jay Z the business.
Yeah. That's a good one. I heard him a couple times on the show. So that's good to know. He gets a couple mentions. What about an elevator? Who would you be stuck in an elevator with if it happened?
Who would I want to be stuck in an elevator with, huh? Um,
Yeah.
as of today, I think I'd like to be stuck in an elevator with Steve Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. I think
Okay.
he probably has like a view on what is coming, and like just to be able to pick his brain and how he views like scaling a company, where he sees AI going, where he sees opportunity. I think that would like, yeah, give a lot of insight into like where I want to focus building business in the future.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: have you came about a quote yet? Is your mind
Oh,
or
have I
so?
come up with a quote yet?
Yeah.
Um, okay, I'll use this one just because, like, and I don't know if it's a favorite quote, but I've got it tattooed on my chest. It's "Mother is God in the eyes of a child." I
Okay.
think it just very much, and as I'm thinking about like raising my child, what they see me do, and like
Yeah.
what I tell them is like law. That's how they're going to base their being off of for the first few years. So I think like being thoughtful of like not just what I tell my daughter, what she sees me, how she sees me interact with my partner.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what's closest to my mind right now is like how my day to day actions and what I'm doing and like how I interact with her, how I interact with her mother, how I interact with my mother. That's what she's going to see as law. So I think if I have to like, that's probably my quote, "Mother is God in the eyes of a child." And I actually got it from a scene in Silent Hill.
Oh wow.
uh, Movie, and it's an odd context, but it just
Yeah.
stuck with me. And for me, right, like, like we piece together our ego based on like what we think can protect us as a child, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like my mom is that strong point. My mom is a person I saw as like, okay, like she got me on the path to go to college, right? She instilled this grind in me.
Yeah.
So kind of the rules she's built are how I live my life, and I think like that's going to reflect into my child. So much of my thought today is like, how do I raise a good child?
Yeah. Good one. Good quote. Who's your favorite sports team and player?
I'm a Dubs fan.
Yeah.
Uh, so being from the Bay Area, I'm a Warriors guy. Favorite
Yeah.
player ever still goes back to LeBron.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think an interesting story, and I could be off right because our memory is not perfect. Do you remember Raquelin Sims?
No.
He went to De La Salle. I want to say he graduated 2001
Okay.
from De La Salle. He went to Kentucky, and I remember, and I,
Really?
I I could be wrong in this, but I feel like I remember reading a quote of him being asked who his favorite basketball player was, and let's see, I want to say LeBron must have been 15 and Raquelin 17 and probably the best player in California or one of the top players.
Yeah.
And he's quoted as saying LeBron's his favorite player. So
Wow.
I always thought that was unreal that a top high school player would now say that LeBron, who's a 15-year-old's his favorite player. So,
Yeah.
so LeBron, obviously I love Steph Curry. Um, if I am going to watch highlights on, before I play in my men's league, sometimes I watch highlights, and that's probably Carmelo, just because, like, I really like his thought process of as soon as I face up in the post, I'm a guard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I try and look at my game is that I'm a guard inside 18 feet.
There are some people I play with that they've mentioned guys that they've known are coming up and say like somebody I played to the contributor from New Orleans and they knew like this guy Bo who was like a guard, but he was really good. Like some people kind of they I guess seeing around they or maybe people thought Jason Kidd was that good because saw him, playing in front of them. So I could see that. When you watch the videos, like before pregame, does it just get you like motivated or what's it take for that? Then we go play the game. What's your thoughts on that? I mean,
I
just hearing
think
that
it just gets
perspective.
me zoned into like
Yeah.
one, just like processing some of the like moves I'm going to do. I've caught
Yeah.
myself like, maybe I haven't practiced a move, but I've seen Carmelo do it and then I pull it
Yeah.
out in the game. I think
Okay.
it also like helps me get back to my balance of like, all right, catch, face up, see what's going on, and then decide from there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit more of his decision making, but also like the aggressiveness in his moves, right? Like Carmelo jab steps hard, he pushes through. If he rips through, he's gonna power to the hoop. He's like, I think it gets me back to being as efficient as possible in my moves. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. No, I tell players I coach, watch the film on this guy or and see what he does or how he, does his moves and what he does. So you kind of get familiar with what they're doing. So it's not just you telling them, they can kind of see it.
yeah, I think as you get to a higher level, right, like whether you're in college or even high school to a point, I
Yeah.
think the thing about high school is guards can dribble as much as they want to score.
Yeah.
When you get to college, you get 2, 3 dribbles. If you can't either pass or shoot off of those 2 dribbles, you need to give up the ball.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, all right, how do I get a bucket? And yeah, you probably remember that from my game. You're not often going to ever see me dribble more than 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
If I can't get to the rim on you, shoot it, or I'm probably going to pass it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. that's a difference with some kids today. They're taught in drills to, you know, hit somebody with 4 different moves, but by the time you do that, a double team comes. So it's like you can't do
Yeah,
any of that in college
totally.
unless you're a superstar. Like one player gets that green light, but so I'm also often wondering why trainers are working on some of the things they do, but you know,
Yeah,
sometimes you can tell who hasn't played in college.
yeah. Are you still training kids today, or doing any coaching, or not really?
No,
No.
no. Once my brother turned pro, it just like I very much realized that I was more interested in hanging out with my little brother and training him as opposed to like training kids like in mass. And like
Yeah.
I've noticed in myself like I want killers, right? And like
Yeah.
unfortunately, it feels like a lot of like AAU and like training is pushed by the parents as opposed to like a kid that absolutely loves this. Because like what used to really get me is like I would train a kid and be like, oh, awesome, like like when's the last, we could go through a session and then now I see them again next week and I'm like, awesome, like how much have you practiced what we've done? And they're like, oh, I haven't had a chance to play basketball. And it's like, if you haven't touched the basketball in the 5 days since I've seen you, like you don't want this.
Yeah, I know there's a thing I hear, and probably true, is if you miss a day of playing, whatever you did the day before, you have the time to get back to where you were. So if you don't play, I mean, I see it, like,
I'm 39 and I shot for 45 minutes yesterday and then I played in a game. And
yeah,
I'm not trying to do anything with this. And if you don't want to spend 2 hours a day playing, I can't put my energy into training you. And the tough thing about training is that you have to make decisions on paying your bills
yeah,
versus like what's best for basketball and what's best for
yeah,
these kids. In reality, I want to tell some of the parents like, hey, your kid doesn't want this, but you've got to get a check. So,
yeah, totally. Let me ask you this question: did you ever watch wrestling as a kid growing up? Did you have a favorite wrestler, or no?
oh, favorite
Yeah.
wrestler, Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
even me being 6'8", I still wanted to be that like lucha libre that could like
Really?
jump and spin. But man, I was a diehard wrestling fan. I had the Hulk Hogan like stuffed animals and Ultimate
Yeah,
Warrior. I grew up on WCW before like WWE took over.
yeah,
I loved Razor Ramon.
yeah,
I loved The Rock before he like blew up as an actor.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on wrestling.
Yeah, we had good memories and good. A lot of, with The Rock and Austin, and he had Hogan and the NWO, all that,
Gold
a lot
Steve
of that
Austin,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have been a Booker T fan, but he was good. You know,
Yeah,
Harlem
what
Heat,
was his Booker T and his what is it brother? What was their group called? Do you
Harlem
remember?
Heat, Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat. Yeah. You know who I actually liked more, and I can't remember. Is it the Dooms brothers? It's remember they had the like
Oh, you're talking about the Animal and Hawk. They were
Animal and Hawk. I love them.
Were they Doomsday, or no? Were they, or something?
Doomsday
Or
Demolition Brothers. It was
something,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they had the football pads.
Yeah, yeah, and I liked Mankind, Nick Foley.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. A
I
lot of
could go on.
stuff. Did you ever go to any events out in the Bay
Yeah,
Area? Yeah.
yeah, we used to go to the Cow Palace and watch
Yeah.
some of the events. So I've got to see him a few in person. Like we would go to the Cow Palace and like you could go watch a WCW game or event, and then like the next day is like monster trucks.
No, I remember, I think I went to Cow Palace and saw a house show. I saw like Goldberg a few times. That was good to see.
Oh,
And
Goldberg was awesome. I forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah, he was, yeah, I was like, it was like, what's he gonna lose? But yeah, it was a lot of memories, a lot of cool
Dude,
things he did.
spear, a Goldberg spear,
Yeah.
people's elbow. It's awesome that they had like signature moves. I like Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Let me ask you this. What advice would you give yourself at 12 years old?
take more deep breaths.
Yeah.
That like this is a either your life is a novel or your life is like a library. I think so much like we look at each decision like is this going to ruin things or not, right? Like
Yeah.
I've made decisions or hit points in my life like, oh, Brian, like you've thrown off your trajectory for the worse. But at the end of the day, like it's a paragraph in a book, it's a page in a book that doesn't tell the whole story. Is like you've got a long story or trilogies or a library full of books that you're building. Don't
Yeah.
worry about each page. Focus more on like the structure and then like breathe through it. Like you're gonna have your ups and downs. Like that's the whole point. I really try to embrace like what is it? It's not about, and this is maybe a quote that I probably could have pulled up, but it's not
Yeah.
about avoiding the rain. It's about learning how to dance in it. So that's what,
Yeah.
like, yes, like when chaos comes, when things don't go in your way, it's like, how do you now like take a deep breath and then figure out your next move?
Yeah. Good one. Good shares there. What do you love about the city you live in right
Oh,
now?
I'm
I
in
know.
LA. I love
Yeah.
the basketball culture. It's
Yeah.
going to be 83 today. My thought is like I was living in West Oakland before I moved here.
Yeah.
So to pay the same amount, get a lot better weather, and there's better basketball community. Like you
Yeah.
and I know we both grew up in the same basketball community, but
Yeah.
being a kid from Antioch, when I play in Oakland, right, like there's a little bit of like stress there in the sense that like, sometimes this may turn into a fight or there can be some negative energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
none of that in LA. Like every interaction's been awesome. Everybody I play with's got good energy. Um, so I'd actually say I didn't expect that coming to LA. I always thought like, well, it's entertainment. Like maybe I'm gonna play with a bunch of podcasters that full of themselves. But like I played with a guy yesterday that tried to play with the mic on yesterday, and the rest were like, "You got to take that off," and he was like, "All right, my bad, whatever." So yeah, it's been such a good energy. So I think that is whether it's a little bit better here in LA, and then basketball's been awesome.
So you feel like there's like a, I don't know, like a, I mean, ratio like jumps up a lot compared to the Bay, like just like the whole basketball is like elevated and down there from
Yeah,
here.
why is basketball elevated down here? I think it's location in the sense that like San Francisco, Oakland, East Bay, they're all like San Jose, we're all very like broken and it's like we're different worlds. Whereas
Yeah.
LA, it's a little bit more of like either you're in LA or maybe you're an inland empire, but it's still the same basketball community.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've experienced Seattle basketball community, but like
No.
Will Conroy, Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson, I got to meet Brandon Roy. They're family. They're like, we're
Yeah.
gang. You know what I mean? Whereas the
Yeah.
Bay
Yeah.
Area, like you've got Kyle Romer. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if Kyle Romer and Antonio Kellogg are friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like, because they've grown up in different spaces, right? We have Leon Poe. We have Aaron Gordon, right? We have a lot of great talent in the Bay Area, but it's not like community.
Yeah.
Whereas LA, it feels like, and I'm not sure if it's because people stay local, like, yeah, I think we have awesome basketball. We have good basketball community in the Bay Area, but LA does feel um, just like a little bit of a better energy.
I see what you mean. Like probably like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are probably playing each other. Then maybe like Chris Paul or and then guys are just down there.
Right, and they come
Playing.
back to LA, right? Like
Yeah.
I've never seen Leon Poe in Oakland,
Yeah.
in basketball gyms, and nothing against him. Like I
Yeah.
don't. I know Aaron Gordon's in the NBA right now, but like you don't necessarily like see him in local open gyms.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and it might be a gym setup. Like with the Oakland, we basically have what's the, one gym in Oakland that guys can go to. Yeah, with
Oh, like
LA,
Open Gym Premier. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas LA, it just feels like you can step into any gym and play. In the Bay Area, it was so hard for us to find gym time to like. Luckily, we have Irv that runs DVC, right? And maybe he
Yeah.
can get us gym time, but it felt like a battle to get gym time and community to play basketball in the Bay Area.
Let me ask you this. So you weren't working at your current job. What you doing for work, you think?
You said, what do I do for work?
Well, no, if you weren't at your current job, what else would you be doing? You're not a
Oh, I was
recruiter.
talking to my mom. I wanted to be a teacher. That
Yeah.
was the career path.
Oh,
I
wow.
think before I got to college,
Yeah.
I think I love kids.
Yeah.
I love impacting their growth. I think I have lessons to share. Unfortunately, my mom was like, "Well, if you want to live in California, it is a bit tougher being a teacher financially."
Yeah.
So she kind of steered me away from it, but I think I still am able to apply that into a lot of my career. But I would
Yeah.
have loved to be a public school teacher.
So
I also
what
just
subject?
like I don't
Uh,
I don't think I've ever had a black male teacher.
really?
So I always thought it would have been cool
I
to
had a
like.
couple. So, a few, a handful, three,
I
yeah,
should have I should have went through your program.
yeah.
It's interesting. I just didn't have that opportunity.
Amateur Valley was, we were diversity. We had a good mix. Yeah. We had a good mix. It wasn't too bad.
Where'd you
So
go
yeah,
to high school?
Amateur Valley. So we had a good, mix of the black kids, the white kids, and you had some Indians,
We
and
had a
some
huge
Asians.
black
Yeah.
population at Deer Valley. Just
Yeah.
Never crossed a
Maybe
black.
the pay, but yeah, they were there. I remember. I do remember. Let me ask you this. So what subject would you be doing then if you're a teacher? What would you be teaching?
I would likely teach
PE? No.
probably PE
Yeah.
and business. I went
Okay.
to a business program in high school. I
Yeah.
love to like teach financial literacy, stocks, accounting. I think most kids should learn how to manage a budget, should learn how to invest. I
Yeah.
think these missed opportunities. I took a class and like there was like 2 weeks that we played a game as like being able to invest in stocks. I think you should have an understanding of like real estate and like what's average recurring revenue, what's monthly
Yeah.
recurring revenue, right? Like I think a lot of these terms, even if you want to become a creative, whether you want to paint, whether you want to start a podcast, you still need to know how to like grow an audience and build a business. You need to
Yeah.
understand marketing. So I think
Totally.
that every human should be operating as a brand and know how to scale a business.
What's your favorite video game or board game growing up? What sticks out? I know you play games a little bit, but what's your.
NBA Jam or NFL Blitz or
Oh
NBA Hang
wow.
Time. It was all
Yeah.
basketball games growing up.
Yeah.
Maybe like some of the Ninja Turtle games, like the
Yeah.
side scrollers I'd loved.
Yeah.
I actually just got into Call of Duty in the pandemic, so I was never really big into like the military sims, but like I was a Doom fan. I grew up playing video games since like fourth grade. So like
Yeah.
luckily, like yes, my parents, grinded out to where they got to, but like I had a TurboGrafx 16, I had a Nintendo, I had a Super Nintendo, I had a
Yeah.
Sega. I'm pretty sure like I'm
Did you ever
pretty
play
sure I've
GoldenEye?
every system since a TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah. Did you ever play GoldenEye as growing up?
Yeah. I played
Yeah.
GoldenEye. Yeah.
Yeah. That
The
was like the.
little odd job where you basically like had this little you got to
Yeah.
shoot at the little you can go
Yeah, it was
that.
crazy back
Odd
in the
job was
day.
awesome. Yeah, that was an
They gave
awesome.
it. They gave it ahead of its time, I think. You know.
I agree.
Yeah. People came.
Yeah, with having four people on one screen, and then it shifted to like LAN parties with Halo, right? It's like as long as you had a Ethernet connection.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I got some
Yeah.
GoldenEye in.
Yeah. What about board game? You played board games as a kid? What was it
Board
like?
games. I was probably a little bit more of a card game player. Like I love
Okay.
Uno.
Yeah.
Um, my parents, my mom taught me spades.
Yeah.
Blackjack, some of the basic ones, poker. Board games, I guess we play like Monopoly, but I'm not as much of a Monopoly fan. Like you would think that like as much as I love business, I'd see
Yeah.
that
I thought you'd be a
opportunity.
Mobley guy. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm not a 3 hour game guy. Like we can't knock this out in an hour. Like yeah, after an hour, I was probably going outside and playing basketball.
Gotcha. Cool. What's your drink of choice?
My drink of choice?
Yeah.
I like a wine or a beer. I like
Yeah.
natural wines, so I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm dragging the next day.
Yeah.
IPAs, I've started to accept that I like hazy IPAs. I like different tequilas. I went down the bourbon route path.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll drink Jack. I'll kind of drink anything as I don't love a ton of sugar, so I won't really drink like cranberry based drinks or red drinks or anything
Yeah.
that just like has a lot of sugar to it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I like my tequila, beer, wine.
Gotcha. Cool.
How about you?
And Greyhounds, I'll do. I like bubbles, champagne if they're there. Here and there, I can do IPA, hazy sometimes, but gotta watch it because those things are just, one or two or three, you're already down. But
Have you been to Van Cleef's in Oakland?
no. Oh, that's a
They're
Greyhound bar.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
known for their.
I've got told that like 4 or 5 times. I've never been there yet.
Oh, yeah. I
I gotta go
haven't been.
down there.
I haven't been in 7 years, but it is cool that they basically have like they're crushing grapefruit fresh.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
love some Greyhounds, it's a good
It's called
energy.
What's the place called again? I'll go down there sometime soon. What's it
Van
called?
Cleef's, I think.
Van
I think
Cleets.
it's
Yeah.
Van
Okay.
Cleef's.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I've been told like 10 times, and like I need to go now. So, what's a guilty pleasure you want to share one with us?
A guilty pleasure. I like my marijuana.
Oh,
I'm a big, I'm, I'm a weed fan. I will say is like I've moved on towards like vaporizers and
yeah,
vaping weed versus
yeah,
like smoking blunts or backwoods, just because like now I have a daughter. I don't want to smell like weed.
Yeah.
I think it's seeing like also the NBA's legalized weed as well.
Yeah.
I think like I play basketball 3-4 days a week, so it does help like alleviate some of that pain, and it just like calms me down. Like
Yeah.
I wake up at 5:30 and I've got a baby in front of me. I run a business. I play a lot of basketball, and sometimes like I just need something to like sit me down and watch
Yeah.
trash TV or a movie because like my brain will run and run and run.
Yeah.
So it gives me a chance to like slow down.
Gotcha. Cool. Uh, Let me ask you this: what's your favorite emoji?
Favorite emoji is a fire. Everything's
Yeah.
fire to me. Flames.
Yeah.
You could probably look at our Instagram interaction, and I probably left a few fires, whether it's in your DMs or on your
Yeah.
post. Yeah, everything's fire to me.
Yeah. No, same thing. Yeah. And like the fire's cool. I'll send that
Yeah,
a
what's
lot,
your
quite a
go-to?
bit. The fire, I'll do like the sign like this with this to people. I'll send people. Well, I used to be the rose back in the days. It's still there, but it was more for
Oh,
like a marketing thing.
okay.
So it was follow the rose,
I
So
like that.
yeah, it was chill though. Who would be a good guest and nominated to be on the show? You reach out to and put them on here and get them, on the spot. You think?
Who would be a good guess? If we're gonna tiptoe, what is my buddy? Golly. I was just looking at his story. He went to Bishop O'Dow. Now he does like mortgage content. Golly, I'm trying to find it. Now I feel bad that I'm blanking on his name. Man, I literally just saw his story. I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
All right, who's another good guess? Do you want somebody Bay Area? Let's
could
see,
be.
Bay Area around real estate and sports. Have you brought on Brandon Payton yet?
No, I could get.
You
I could
already
get
know
him.
Brandon. I would probably pull him in pretty quickly. Um,
I've heard Stevie a few times. I get Stevie on there. He's been nominated a couple times, but yeah,
I like
you know,
Stevie.
yeah,
But you know Stevie and Tion.
yeah, it's on.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. What about your brother? Maybe your brother, or did your brother do podcast? Not really.
he's done some. He could be
Yeah.
interesting. He's still
Oh
like
yeah.
young and like He's actually made two. He's bought a house in Louisville and Kentucky, and they're looking at buying in Miami or Nashville next.
Yeah.
Um, so he's actually done a good amount of work in real estate, and he's a pro athlete.
Yeah.
I would actually, and maybe this is a little less real estate, but like Matthew Dellavedova is very bullish on Bitcoin. So I don't know
Is
if
he?
you're only looking at real estate investors, but if you're
That could be
just
something
looking
different.
at
Yeah.
investment total, I might, he's got a local Bay Area connection.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And
I might.
he married Schroeder's sister. So
Yeah, and he's got some
yeah.
Bay Area ties, so I might pull him in. Joe C obviously has like a hell of a story. Like he's one of the best Bay Area basketball players ever.
Yeah.
Um, I love Frank Alaco. I don't know
Yeah.
his background in real estate, but Frank or even just Frankie, right? And their
Yeah.
journeys and seeing like how they've impacted the community.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay. I got a few out there. I can reach out to try to get them. Cool. What's on the bucket list? What's something you want to do that you haven't done yet? What's
Sure.
out
What's
there?
on the bucket list? I'd love to buy a home. I
Yeah.
think especially buying in LA, I think is something I think like I feel like okay, cool. Like if I can, get one of these $3 million homes, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
Um, but also just I think I'll be 40 this year, so it's not quite bucket list, but my goal is just to, um, get in a bit better shape. Like get
Yeah.
abs again. And
Okay.
my playing weight's like 225, and I'm down to like 213. I've gotten up to like 265,
Oh
so
wow.
really just to sharpen that up right now.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, like my bucket list is like giving myself the space to be the best dad and partner I can be, right? Is
Yeah.
like, yes, I want to crush my business, but I'm gonna grind no matter how that looks. But like, how do I now make sure that like I'm saving as much space to have like healthy relationships with my partner and my mother, with my daughter? So I think like
Yeah.
if I, to say that, okay, well, if my time's up and I can look back on what I did well, I think that's very much going to be defined by like my child and my relationship with my partner.
Yeah. Cool. Uh, How do we find you and, get in touch with you if you have a question about, whatever? Um,
Sure.
yeah,
I'd probably say LinkedIn's the easiest way to access me.
yeah,
You search Bryan Lee and Uber or Apple with one of the companies that I've worked with in the past.
okay,
They can always ping me through you. I can
yeah,
share my email. I'm very
yeah,
accessible.
yeah,
I spend a lot of time giving career advice if people are trying to figure out like
yeah,
their next step. I've probably hired over 400 people, looked at millions of resumes. So like if
yeah,
somebody is job search or trying to figure out their like next step in their career, I think I'm an awesome sounding board. And then I have a massive network.
cool,
So yeah, I'm
cool,
open. It's literally my job to network and help people with their careers. So
cool.
pretty easy to find.
All right. And for the listener out there, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, got those covered. Um, any final thoughts,
I
Brian?
appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my
Yeah,
my journey, my
yeah,
opinions, my experience, my thoughts, my interests. This is awesome. I think um, I think branding is extremely important no matter what you want to do.
yeah,
And I think the more that you can like share yourself with your community, right? Because like at the end of the day, people aren't, like yes, we're buying products, but we're buying from people that we trust. So I think the more that
totally.
you can put yourself out there and show
Yep.
like hey, I'm broken just like everybody, like I
Yeah,
have my faults,
yeah,
but I'm going to go into everything with good energy. And how do you now share that with the world? And I think it's awesome that it's very scary to be on your side, right? Like I'm going to do this podcast, I'm going to have conversations with people I think are interesting. What are
yeah,
people going to think?
yeah,
So I just think it's awesome that you're creating this platform and trying to share stories of us Bay Area hoopers and
yeah.
local
Keep
business folks. So I think it's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it just, came about and, was video before. Now it's gone to the virtual more, but still podcast, but still able to get people on here and, showcase them. So, yeah, and any questions about real estate, reach out. I can help you out. I'm here to help. And, Brian's here if you want to have a sounding more about jobs or recruiting. But, from on the spot, right out here.
Cool. I appreciate it.